Okay, so here's a short review of Crimson Desert. It's been a long time since I made a video, and I'm glad that this game brought me back to it. Crimson Desert is a game I've been watching for years. I'm always excited for open world RPGs, and just watching some of the gameplay prior to its release got me really excited. Well, did this live up to my expectations? I guess. I mean, I sort of knew the type of game this was going to be. I knew that it was going to be this big ass game with insanely flashy combat and cool horse riding and weird mechanics, and it's basically all that and obviously a lot more. To be honest, I thought this was going to be some crazy RPG similar to like a Witcher 3 or something like that, but it's actually an open world action adventure sandbox with some RPG elements. It's also really hard to point out exactly what Crimson Desert is, so no character creator, no experience, leveling, decision making, or builds. This also isn't a full review of the game because I'm just not done playing it. Man, I don't even know where to start with this game. Okay, screw it. Let's start with this is one of my favorite games of all time. But it's also one that I can't really recommend to everyone. I love this game, plain and simple. I work for a living and I don't even have that much time on my hands anymore, but I still managed to put 80 hours into this game in 2 weeks. I feel like a kid again, and I can't remember the last time that I had a gaming addiction like this. I can't stop thinking about Crimson Desert when I'm not playing it. I took a day off just to sit down and play, and I wasn't even satisfied. Dude, I even canceled plans just to play this game. I don't even know how to put it into words. Like, okay, so have you ever been in a bar and accidentally slipped and maybe kissed a few guys? Okay, so Crimson Desert feels like that. Like, what a great feeling. Alright, so Crimson Desert is a mixed plate full of mechanics that remind you of too many games. It's like a lot of games, but no game is like it, if that makes sense. You have the wall climbing and gliding like Breath of the Wild, sky islands and skydiving like Tears of the Kingdom, weird controls like any other niche Japanese game you've ever played, and the realism and clunkiness of Red Dead Redemption 2 and, like unique game design of Dragon's Dogma 2. So yeah, there's obviously a lot to this game, and trying to cover what I've experienced in 80 hours will lead to a much longer video, and that's not why you're here. Crimson Desert has the most beautiful open world I've ever seen in my life, and I've only discovered like maybe a fifth of it. I honestly can't remember the last time I looked at the world in front of me and just felt that small. The graphics of this game made me happy I upgraded my PC a bit. Oh, and this game runs really, really well. I only play games on Linux these days, and I've never gone through any performance issues with Crimson Desert. The map is absolutely massive and full of content, and I don't mean that in the way I described like Ubisoft bloat or something like that. It's actually full of a mix of repetitive and unique content, so the world becomes very amazing to explore, full of loot and a lot of quests. So many quests that it actually might feel overwhelming at times. Apparently this game was supposed to be another MMO, since Pearl Abyss is also known for their MMO Black Desert Online, but at some point they decided to switch to a single player game. But to be honest, that MMO DNA is still in there. Listen, I love MMOs, so I can't complain, but that kind of game design is not for everyone. There's a lot of meaningless questing. Some quests are pretty good and they come with great rewards, but some are a little bit boring. The bad quests in the game make you fetch, walk too much, do boring chores, or other activities that you didn't buy the game for. There's just too many quests where, you're just following an NPC very slowly by either horseback or walking. I mean, Red Dead Redemption 2 had this kind of thing, but at least it also had more interesting dialogue. Crimson Desert at least has the great voice acting, and a lot of the writing material is pretty solid. It just introduces you to too many characters that aren't really that memorable, so because of that, I actually have a hard time remembering a lot of their names. Oh, and similar to Dragon's Dogma 2, this game has a dog shit story. But to be fair, it does get a bit better after the 4th or 5th chapter, which is like a third of the main story. But holy mother, fuck, this game's story is not why you should play it. If you're seeking a narrative-driven game, you should probably stay away from this one, but it's not why I wanted to play this game. Listen, man, Skyrim and Elden Ring are one of my all-time favorites, but I don't even know what Elden Ring's about, and that's after 3 playthroughs. And Skyrim's story is extremely generic, and I'm pretty sure you don't even know what it's about. But again, it's not why we play it. After all this time, this story is starting to grow on me a little bit, and so are some of the characters. I think the main character Cliff is actually a cool character, but I don't really know who the hell he is. There's really not much backstory. And the voice actor that plays Cliff does a very good job, and I think he's got a pretty cool voice. And I actually just searched it up. He's also the voice actor for Adam Smasher in Cyberpunk. The game starts slow as fuck. You get killed, tossed in a river, magically revived, then spend hours doing some random chores like chimney cleaning and arm wrestling for money. A beggar and some random tied up woman both randomly decide you're worthy of god powers or whatever. Then you're suddenly in heaven getting your wings and a grappling hook, and then told to jump off, and your guy does, just that without any hesitation. Meanwhile, you're supposed to also rebuild your crew after getting wiped out early on in the game, but no one even reacts to your powers. The story's kind of ass. I already talked about how amazing the map is. I love the combat. It's brutal, it's gushy, and punchy as hell. It's extremely satisfying. So you got the dual wielding, long swords, one-handed sword and shield, spears, fist fighting, wrestling. At first it feels a bit basic, but then once you start unlocking more skills and in the skill tree, then you start to feel this very nice sense of freedom with your combat. At times it can be pretty explosive, you know. Oh, I also forgot to mention there's some archery. The archery is not the greatest, but it does get better once you unlock more skills. The game also starts off with, you know, pretty similar enemy types, but that kind of opens up the more you play and the more you explore. Then you really see what the game's about. Enemies become pretty difficult pretty quick, but I love the boss fights, especially, you know, after the recent patches. Before the patches, you would easily get stun locked and you would have no time to attack at all, and all you'd be doing is spamming the food button to heal up. Oh yeah, the game has cooking, so that comes with hunting, fishing, and farming. You also get some alchemy, mining, crafting, upgrading, and trading. The map is full of treasure, secret caves, and dungeons, enemy outposts to liberate, NPCs to help, puzzles to solve, and a lot of bandits to kill. You can go almost everywhere you see in the world, and trust me, there's a lot to see. The last time I felt like exploring a world like this was probably in Elden Ring. God, like it's really hard to stay on topic with a game like this, you know? It's just one of those games. You can't really stick to doing one thing. One moment you're climbing a mountain for the hell of it, then you jump off and fly away to a point of interest, see a quest, and that quest leads to a couple more on the way, hunt a bunch of deer in case you want to face a hard boss and, like, you know, you might need some food, then realize your dispatch mission's finished, so you have to go back to camp and micromanage your camp a bit before you proceed to do whatever the fuck it was that you thought you were doing, and, you know, head back to doing God knows what. It's just one of those games. But yeah, I don't know how else to put it. I love this game, so fuck staying on topic. This game has one of the best horse riding in any game ever. Alright, you see, Red Dead 2 is the gold standard, but Crimson Desert does it really well, and in my opinion, it's a pretty close second. The animations on the horse just look great, and, you know, but the horse is pretty quiet. It almost feels lifeless. The music is great, and it doesn't feel like every high fantasy game soundtrack. Dude, the game has one of the best initial loading screen animations I've seen in a while, man, and the music that plays behind it is nice. The game's harsh economy kicks your ass a little bit in the beginning, but then, you know, it starts to open up and you start making some money, but then realize in some areas, a gambling table's buy-in is your entire net worth. So yeah, I love the economy. You never really feel rich. You also have a crime system, and it is pretty brutal. Like, you can't commit any crimes unless you wear a mask, which is unusual, but hey, it's there, and it just works. Once I stole a skill book in front of a witness, then I caught him and beat him to death, and the entire town was after me. I managed to escape, but then when I ended up trying to liberate an enemy outpost, a bunch of good guy guards joined my enemy to kill me, which I thought was pretty funny. The sense of wonder in this game is unmatched. You can stand on the edge of a cliff and just look at so many points of interest and just go to them. The game opens up the more you play, and it never really stops opening up. You know, games like Assassin's Creed Odyssey or Origins also come with a beautiful map and lots to explore, but once you've played around 8 hours of those, you've also played the next 100 hours. In Crimson Desert, it does not feel like that. You get introduced to so much, and it just keeps going, and it feels like this is the most packed game ever made, and I mean that in the best way possible. So yeah, there's a lot to it, and this is the first time in my life where I played 80 hours of a single save file of any game and felt like I was still in the beginning of the game. I'm addicted, and I'll beat it one day, but at this rate, it'll maybe be in a month or two. So Crimson Desert introduces you to many mechanics, and it gets overwhelming at first, since the controls are designed for a person with dyslexia playing upside down and holding the controller right side up. Like, it's pretty hard to get used to, but after 15 to 20 hours, it starts to blend in and feel like one massive package that you start to appreciate. And yeah, I said 15 to 20 hours, and I mean that. The game takes a long time to get used to, so if you're looking for a quick game with a quick dopamine hit, this is far from it. At times the game sucks and is really frustrating. You know, there's many moments you'll think to yourself, why the hell did they design it like this? Or did they even test this feature? Sometimes there's even game-breaking bugs that'll force you to waste a lot of time trying to find a workaround. But luckily for us, the game is being patched up pretty quickly. I guess an example would be, the game at first didn't have a storage chest. I don't know why. Now it has one. There was a lot of loot in the game, and being forced to pick between taking everything everywhere or sell it all at once, you know, was a pretty terrible choice. So I still don't know why they did that. Well, yeah, you can't fast travel if you're sitting on your horse. NPCs have this long-ass pause in between lines of dialogue that make you feel like the conversation's over, but it's not. They're just lagging or something. Some puzzles require you to push a button, and it works either by hitting the button or running into it. Not both. It's one or the other. You want to break something? Sometimes it works by one action button, button, but in other times it works by another. It's as if the game was designed and developed by two separate teams that were barely in contact with each other, and you can kind of see that in the story as well. It's no masterpiece. It's got a lot of issues. But in the last few years, I've played a lot of games, and I loved a lot of games, from Clair Obscur to Arc Raiders to Kingdom Come Deliverance to you name it. But to be honest with you, this is the most fun I've had playing anything in the last few years. Crimson Desert has a very random story that after 80 hours still feels like nothing connects. It comes with the amount of content that the base version of any MMO will offer, the most breathtaking world in gaming history in my opinion, next to Red Dead 2, Elden Ring, Witcher 3, Skyrim, and Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Great music, great voice acting, punchy and satisfying combat with a sense of freedom to it, slow but very rewarding gear-based progression. It's nice to see myself gradually grow stronger over time, and most of it is the result of the game's amazing exploration. There's tons to do in this game. While not all of it is great, the best parts of this game significantly outshine the worst, making this one of my all-time favorite games ever made. That doesn't mean it's one of the best games ever made, but it's definitely one of my all-time favorites. Oh yeah, there's two other playable characters that I haven't really tried out yet, with their own progression and combat system. Oh, and character customization. Oh, there's even a dragon you can fucking fly around. Yeah, so it's one of the most games of all time, and I love it so much. Again, I can't recommend it to everyone. If you're craving an open world action adventure, MMO style sandbox, whatever the fuck, then this is definitely for you. And if you like this video, please like, share, and please subscribe, because I'm extremely desperate, and yeah.